Once upon a time in the mountains, in a small, secluded town nestled among the towering peaks of the Appalachian Mountains, lived an elderly couple, Margaret and Henry. They had spent their entire lives in this serene setting, surrounded by nature's beauty and the echoes of their cherished memories. Their small, rustic cabin, weathered by time yet sturdy, was filled with the warmth of love and laughter. As the years went by, their children grew up and pursued their dreams in faraway cities, leaving behind the quiet life in the mountains. Margaret and Henry, although proud of their children's accomplishments, felt a deep sense of loss and loneliness now that their nest was empty. One winter's evening, as the couple huddled by the fire, Margaret looked at Henry and said, "There's something magical about this place. We should do something to keep the spirit of our family alive." Henry, with his twinkling eyes, nodded in agreement. They decided to build a special project that would honor their family's legacy and attract visitors to their serene home. The couple began working on their idea of a beautiful wooden cabin, but this one would be different. They envisioned it as a retreat for families to reconnect with each other, away from the hustle and bustle of city life. They wanted to create a space filled with warmth, laughter, and shared memories, just like the ones they had cherished. For weeks, they gathered materials from the forest around them, using fallen branches, stones, and reclaimed wood to build their dream retreat. Henry, skilled in carpentry, crafted large windows to let in the sunlight and wide porches to watch the sunsets. Margaret designed a cozy interior, with a big fireplace, comfortable furnishings, and a kitchen that would always smell of homemade meals. As they worked tirelessly side by side, the couple shared their dreams and hopes for the future of their family. They imagined children running across the yard, laughter echoing through the trees, and families sharing meals together. Finally, after months of hard work, the cabin was complete. It stood proudly among the trees, a testament to their love and dedication. They named it Whispering Pines Retreat. With excitement in their hearts, they invited their children and grandchildren to come for a weekend to celebrate the opening of the cabin. When their family arrived, joy filled the air. The children were mesmerized by the beauty of the retreat, exploring every nook and cranny. That evening, they gathered around the fireplace, sharing stories and laughter, just like Margaret and Henry had hoped. The retreat quickly became a favorite family getaway, with the spirit of togetherness filling the air. People from the nearby towns began visiting, drawn by the warmth and love that radiated from the couple and their creation. Years passed, and the retreat remained a cherished place for families to bond amidst the beauty of nature. Margaret and Henry may have started the project seeking connection, but they ended up building a legacy that would bring people together for generations to come. Though their children had left, they returned often, bringing their families along. The mountains echoed with laughter and stories, echoing through the woods, reminding everyone that love and family are eternal. In the end, the couple found joy not just in their children, but in knowing they had created a sanctuary where love could flourish, bridging generations, and reminding all who entered the hallowed walls of the importance of family, kindness, and the beauty of being together. And so, Margaret and Henry lived out their days in joy, surrounded by the love they had cultivated through their determination and belief that home is not just a place, but a feeling shared with those who matter most. Once upon a time in the mountains, in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, a quaint town called Evergreen stood, cradled by towering trees and shimmering streams. Among its residents were Margaret and Henry, an elderly couple whose love story was as timeless as the peaks that surrounded them. They had spent nearly 5 decades in their rustic cabin, a place filled with cherished memories, laughter, and the aroma of home-cooked meals. As time wove its inevitable tapestry, the couple watched as their children grew up, ventured into bustling cities, and pursued their dreams. With each passing year, the once vibrant laughter of children faded, leaving behind a profound sense of emptiness in their mountain abode. One frosty winter evening, with snowflakes dancing outside their window, Margaret sighed wistfully as she looked at the fading photographs on the wall, moments from birthday parties, holidays, and simple Sunday afternoons filled with joy. "Henry," she said, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "This house is filled with memories, but I fear what will happen to them when we're gone. We need to create something that will live on, something that brings families together." Henry, with a twinkle in his eye, sat down beside her. "You know, I've been thinking the same thing. We've built a life here, maybe we can build something new, a place where families can create their own memories, just like we did." Fueled by their shared vision, the couple set to work. They envisioned a beautiful retreat surrounded by nature, a cabin where families could escape the chaos of modern life and reconnect with each other. Margaret and Henry decided to call it Whispering Pines Retreat. Every weekend, armed with tools and determination, they ventured into the woods, collecting materials. Fallen branches became beams, stones were stacked for the fireplace, and old wood was reclaimed to form the structure. Henry's craftsmanship breathed life into the cabin, while Margaret's eye for detail ensured every corner brimming with warmth and love. Their labor was not without challenges. Winter storms battered their progress, but the couple's spirit never waned. They found joy in their shared effort, exchanging stories, dreams, and sometimes even playful arguments about the design. Months passed, and as spring arrived, the retreat slowly took shape. The walls stood sturdy, and the roof was a patchwork of wood that glistened in the sunlight. Henry built large windows that framed breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains, while Margaret painted the interior in warm, inviting hues. They created cozy spaces, a big gathering room with a stone fireplace, a kitchen filled with the aroma of homemade meals, and a porch that invited guests to sit and soak in the serenity of nature. Finally, after a grueling yet gratifying journey, the Whispering Pines retreat was complete. Excitement bubbled within the couple as they planned an opening weekend for their children and grandchildren. They sent out invitations, eager for the family to experience the love that breathed through every beam and window. When the special weekend arrived, the children's faces lit up with awe as they stepped into the cabin. They explored every nook, laughter resounding through the hallways. "This is amazing!" one of the grandchildren exclaimed, running from room to room. That evening, as twilight painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, the family gathered around the fireplace. They shared stories, reminiscing about their favorite moments spent with Margaret and Henry, who sat side by side, tears of joy sparkling in their eyes. Word of the retreat spread quickly, and soon, families from nearby towns began to visit, drawn by the warmth and love radiating from the couple and their creation. They began offering workshops in the summer, teaching visitors how to craft rustic furniture, cook traditional meals, and appreciate the beauty of nature through hiking. As the seasons changed, Margaret and Henry found their lives enriched by the laughter and joy of families reconnecting, all sparked by their determination to create a sanctuary. The mountains echoed with sounds of joy, the air was filled with stories being shared around campfires, and the spirit of togetherness blossomed. Years drifted by, and the couple grew older. Yet, the legacy they built at Whispering Pines Retreat was vibrant and alive. Their children returned often, bringing new generations with them, creating a cycle of love and connection that danced through the pines. On weekends, the cabin would be filled with the chatter of children playing, families gathering for meals, and laughter echoing across the mountains. Margaret and Henry watched with pride. They had created not just a building, but a haven for memories to be made, ensuring that love would always be at the center of their family. As the couple sat on the porch one evening, watching the sunset paint the mountains in golden light, they held hands, feeling grateful for their journey. They knew that the memories they created were not just for them but for generations to come. Whispering Pines became a sanctuary where love, family, and laughter intertwined, making it a home that felt alive with the essence of togetherness. Margaret and Henry found contentment not just in their children but in the knowledge that they had built something everlasting, a place where the spirit of family would thrive for all time. And so, in the shadow of the Appalachian Mountains, the couple lived out their days, surrounded by laughter, love, and the unmistakable magic of having created a legacy that resonated across generations. Their love story lived on, not just in their hearts but in every family that walked through the doors of Whispering Pines Retreat, carrying forward the message that home is not merely a place but a feeling shared with those we hold dear. At the end,